RFK Jr. gave his childhood vaccine recommendations. That was nice. And then the Association for Pediatrics said, he's wrong. You should do this instead. It's like, who do you trust, you know? Like, oh, I don't even know. I'm going back and forth, you know? Do you trust the doctors with their degrees in pediatrics or the lawyer whose own throat is trying to stop him from talking, you know? It's so hard. I don't know what to think.
Comedian Jason Salmon has some bangers in his sets.
Mr. Secretary, do you agree with me that the president deserves a Nobel Prize for Operation Warp Speed?
Yeah, absolutely, Senator. That was phenomenal.
Let me ask you. But you just told Senator Bennett that the COVID vaccine killed more people than COVID.
Wait,
that was a statement.
I did not say that.
Okay, then let me ask, because you also were
Senator, I just want to make clear, I did not say that.
We'll check the record. That's a question of fact. You also said that you were also, as lead attorney for the Children's Health Defense, you engaged in multiple lawsuits attempting to restrict access to the COVID vaccine. Again, it surprises me that you think so highly of Operation Warp Speed when, as an attorney, you attempted to restrict access.
RFK was just talking about seeing kids in airports that look unhealthy. He's like, they got mitochondrial stuff going on. And I'm like, dude, the people who think you know what you're talking about do not know what mitochondrial means. That's two separate groups of people. It is. Also, stop staring at kids in airports. That's what got your administration into all the trouble right now. And I don't know. That's a weird choice. I looked it up. Turns out you can't see mitochondrial stuff on kids. That's not visible. Kids were just looking at you weird. It's like, yeah, maybe look less like a Jim Henson creation. I don't know. Maybe that's the problem.
And I know what a healthy child is supposed to look like. I'm looking at kids as I walk through the airports today, as I walk down the street, and I see these kids that are just overburdened with mitochondrial challenges, with inflammation. You can tell from their faces, from their body movements, and from their lack of social connection. And I know that that's not how our children are supposed to look.
Look, I understand people who were hesitant about getting a vaccine. I was hesitant. My wife, she's in the health industry. She got it right away. I was hesitant. I'm like, I don't know what's in it. She's like, but you eat food in America. And I'm like, that's a good point. She's like, is there anything you love that you also don't know what's in it? And I'm like, you got me. Store-bought French onion dip. Yep. Touche. I say that because the onions are French. But I don't know. I don't know what's in it. I've read the packaging. I still don't know what's in it. Those words are so long. I think I might have seen ivermectin in there somewhere. I don't even know. It might be the vaccine. I can't be sure. Probably not. Probably not. Because every time I eat it, I feel like I have long COVID for the whole weekend. I do.
And he wouldn't be done, however.
Just last week, in the days after the tragic shooting at Annunciation Catholic School in my home state of Minnesota, you went on Fox News blaming school shootings on antidepressants. You have no evidence of that because you have no evidence of a connection. And you want to talk about...
You're just saying something. You're just making stuff up.
You know, this is what you say, right? Secretary Kennedy, when someone presents you with information that does not fit...
I did not blame that shooting. I have no idea whether... I have no idea, and I never said that. You're making it up. You're twisting. Yeah, you are.
Secretary
you are being
Kennedy,
dishonest right now.
If you want to talk about mental health and gun violence in this country, if you want to talk about mental health and gun violence in this country, we should be talking about that, because that's what the parents of Annunciation School...
You don't want to talk. You want to harangue, and you want to you want to have partisan politics. Yeah, we are doing those kind of studies now at NIH. We're launching studies on the potential contribution of some of the SSRI drugs and some of the other psychiatric drugs that might be contributing to violence.
Would you accept the fact that 1 million Americans died from COVID?
I don't know how many died.
You're the Secretary of Health and Human Services. You don't have any idea how many Americans died from COVID?
I don't think anybody knows that because there was so much data chaos coming out of the CDC, and there was so many perverse incentives. And these are model
You don't know the answer of how many Americans died from COVID. This is the Secretary of Health and Human Services. Do you think the vaccine did anything to prevent additional deaths?
Again, I would like to see the data and talk about the data.
You have had this job for 8 months, and you don't know the data about whether the vaccine saved lives?
That's the problem, is that they didn't have the data. The data by the Biden administration absolutely dismal.
So who is politicizing? You're saying the Biden administration politicized all the data? Go back to what Senator Cantwell just said.
Fired Dr.
Go to Trump Surgeon General.
They fired Dr. Krauss. They fired all the people who questioned the orthodoxy. They fired Dr. Gruber, Dr. Krauss.
So, Mr. Chairman, the Secretary of Health and Human Services doesn't know how many Americans died from COVID. Doesn't know if the vaccine helped prevent any deaths. And you are sitting as Secretary of Health and Human Services? How can you be that ignorant?
I'm from Texas, for those of y'all who are like racist. No, it's close. It's different. It's similar vibe. It is, but it's a little different. Yeah, it's a weird time to be from Texas. If you're a Democratic lawmaker, you need to leave Texas. But if you've committed horrific sex trafficking crimes, they send you to Texas. It's a weird trade. That was a weird trade. I feel like Texas got the worst of that part, you know? I was there when those floods happened. That was wild, right? Right? Who could have seen that coming? I mean, especially once they fired the people and disabled the systems that were designed to see that coming. Feels like that was a big problem. Yeah, I don't know if you guys are familiar with how seeing coming works, but it's harder to do when you are also stopping looking. That's just science. That's just science. That's how it works in Texas. Yeah, Texas is a weird state. It's a weird state. The governor of Texas is in a wheelchair, and he is fighting inclusion. It feels like a weird... It's like, those are your ramps, dude. Those are your ramps. Just, yeah. I mean, yeah, they're probably tough going up, but coming down, enjoy. Enjoy. You know, just like, that is, Greg Abbott. He is such a ramp his half up kind of guy, you know? So weird.
Let me just say, first off, please go follow Jason Salmon on all of his social media accounts. Clearly fantastic at what he does. When I see someone from a southern state who not only votes blue, but just like has a good idea of what is going on, like, what's the opposite of like doing a Elon, my heart goes out to you at the inauguration? Because like, I feel for y'all, man. I truly do. Just think about it. Like, I live in Chicago. I've lived in LA. I've traveled a bunch. And imagine you are, you know, in New York, LA, Chicago, Atlanta, and then you move to like middle of nowhere, Texas. What culture shock. And what really gets me, this bothers me, is that there are so many online, and I understand it's just online, but there are so many people who, when they see disasters happen or they see like people getting absolutely screwed over by their local politicians, they'll say, that's what they voted for. When you can't do that, that is unjust. It is unfair. Think about being that person who lived in New York, moves, and is under Republican rule in a deep red state. You didn't vote for it. Your neighbors might have. Your family might have. Your friends might have, or associates or coworkers. I don't care. People around you voted for it. But you have to live under it. Like his jokes about Greg Abbott, fair game. When you are pro-fash, anything is fair game. In terms of jokes, almost. Let's say almost. Let's give ourselves some wiggle room. Like the ramp joke was hilarious. I'm not a huge fan of her, but Jasmine Crockett, because she's lining up and defending Chorus and Aaron Parnas and all this stuff. And Aaron Parnas is just a professional news aggregator at this point. Was a Republican until his dad got screwed over. Went to Rudy Giuliani's law firm. I mean, do not fall for this, guys. So, and he carved out a new lane because the old one was broken and done. So, Jasmine Crockett, who defends Aaron Parnas, who I don't love, let's be clear, but when she made the joke about Greg Abbott, people got in their feels about it. And they said, oh, it's too far, it's too far. Meanwhile, what gets me, and I know I'm getting off topic here, but what really gets me is that when you see the reaction, it's so incredibly hypocritical for them to call the left snowflakes when they are the ones, for example, their base represents violence. They will go and try to unalive politicians. They will unalive politicians. They'll take a hammer to a politician's husband. They will send pipe bombs in the mail. And yet when some on the left, it is uncontrollable at this point, when they will say that it'll be a joyous day when it happens, that same crowd is saying, oh, too far, how dare you, too far. Blows my mind. The inability to read the room is astounding. Truly. So anyways, go follow Jason Salmon. I'm a huge fan of what he does, and you should be too.
My only thing is, what's in that water?
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, I'm game.
Dale, muchachos, vamos a salir de ahí para evitar problemas. Vámonos.
So this is what our tax dollars are funding.
There were 452 illegals apprehended at the Hyundai mega plant construction site yesterday near Savannah. And I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE. But it goes beyond just someone working illegally. Let me explain to you. These people are working for slave wages. Some are not getting paid. Some are being trafficked. They send money home to their country. They give money to their handler. They have hardly anything left. They live in homes 5 families deep, have no quality of life. Modern day slavery. So if you think that ICE is just going in and ripping people out of their jobs, these hardworking people that want a better life, well, guess what? Politicians have really screwed these people, because when they came here, they thought they were, hey, the border's open, we're coming in, we're going to get the 5-star treatment, and we can go to the big Walmart, and we can live in a 5-star hotel, and that's just not how it is. It's very bad conditions, very inhumane, and the Biden administration started a humanitarian crisis. So y'all can't just look at it like they're ripping good people off the job. They're probably saving their lives in the long run.
The person allegedly responsible is this individual, Tory Branham, and to the surprise of no one.
So this is Tory Branham, a Republican candidate for Georgia's 12th congressional district, who as a politician should have thought about how shutting down the single biggest economic investment made by a company in Georgia's history would affect her constituents. This was confirmed by Rolling Stone, and according to the report, Tory recruited a Spanish-speaking union worker who had access to the site to become her informant. After hearing rumors of the construction site using undocumented labor and 3 worker deaths at the site. Ironically, the other workers trusted this union worker because he had previously helped them win lawsuits against unsafe work conditions. So Tory took the rumors and the information from the informants and gave it to authorities. Authorities did say that this was a part of a months-long investigation with multiple agencies, but did not mention that this was started by Tory. And Tory is proud of what she did, saying, quote, "This is what I voted for, to get rid of a lot of," and that word, but not everyone that was detained was undocumented. There are already reports that 2 people that were detained were engineers who came to the US to advise briefly on the work and were planning to go back to South Korea soon. Also, some crossed into the US undocumented, some had visa waivers and were prohibited from working, and some had overstayed their visas. But they didn't go there with the knowledge of who was working undocumented, because they were harassing everyone, including people with status. When I first saw her video, I knew that she had no actual sympathy for the workers, because if she did, she would have found a way to hold the corporation accountable and not send the Gestapo goon after the workers. All she did was help the Trump administration rip more families apart and financially ruin them for her political gain.
This is what is happening across America. Folks like Tory, who are brainwashed into thinking hardworking people should not ever be allowed into the United States. Thankfully,
The way these people were being treated is what matters. I didn't know a damn thing about the Koreans. That wasn't my dish, and obviously that's being investigated because they had work visas that had expired.
First of all, Tory, you look like the love child of Kate Gosselin and Mama June. Second, you should see what the President of the United States has to say about this, because he's walking this back as well.
It's a battery factory in that case, as I'm told. And when they're building batteries, if you don't have people in this country right now that know about batteries, maybe we should help them along and let some people come in and train our people.
Because Hyundai, pronounced like Sunday, not Hyundai like you're saying, is a Korean company. So it makes sense in this instance that Hyundai would send Korean nationals over to train people as those factories are being built. And I notice you have your comments turned off in your most recent video, so it sounds like someone can't take the heat. Because you potentially royally screwed up the Georgia economy. You're risking potentially up to 8,500 jobs. And you said that you didn't know that there were Korean workers there, which means that you probably didn't know anything at all. Because if it's already difficult for you to pronounce Hyundai, then, I'm assuming that a lot of other things are probably difficult for you too.
Congressional candidate Kat Abu-Ghazaleh was manhandled along with others when protesting ICE's presence in Chicago.
I want to talk about something that's happening right now, though. I'm running for Congress in Chicago. Trump has set his sights on Chicago. People are preparing for an invasion by federal troops, by the federal government in Chicago, and we're already seeing this with ICE. This is scary. Crime is down. And if we actually want to address crime, we would address meeting people's material needs. Last weekend, I was at the Broadview facility, which is this detention center where ICE is basing most of its operations. And they are detaining pregnant women and grandmothers. It is supposed to be a processing facility where people only stay for 12 hours at a time, but that's not the case. So people are staying there without beds, without hygienic products. They are sleeping on concrete. Last Friday morning, we were out there protesting. We were singing songs, holding signs. I was knitting. And these ICE agents, I bring my knitting places. Okay. So ICE agents are terrorizing our community. They are going in with masks because they are cowards. They are boarding up their windows for peaceful protesters. And I encourage anyone in Illinois watching this to join us at 1930 Beach Street this Friday at 7 a.m.
Well, we're all here today because this is up, frankly, what's going on. I'm out here outside of the Broadview detention facility where immigrants are being jailed for days at a time in a facility that's not supposed to hold people for more than 12 hours. I didn't know that this building is where these people are being held. It is completely nondescript. You would have no idea that human beings are forced to sleep on concrete floors and subjected to inhumane conditions, where they're shipped off to countries where they have pending asylum claims so that way they can live here. They were following the process, and yet they are kidnapped by masked agents who won't even acknowledge the people that have been out here protesting.
We are in community with a broad coalition of folks who recognize fundamentally that our immigrant neighbors are folks that we should be protecting, that make this country a better place, that make our communities robust and loving and capacious. I don't know how this is keeping me any more safe. Is this keeping you any more safe?
I don't think it's keeping me any more safe. I don't think pregnant women sleeping on concrete floors is keeping me safe. I don't think families being ripped apart, parents that may never see their children again, I don't think that's keeping me safe. Is that crazy?
Yeah, no, not at all. Actually, that checks out.
This is right here in Chicago. This is where our neighbors are being held. And this is where it will continue if we don't do anything to stop it. Let's get this facility closed down.
And by the way, she is doing great work in the city.
And like the party of law and order doesn't seem to give a damn about international or domestic law. And unfortunately, it looks like this could be
international law was violated?
Firing on a civilian
what
boat in
international law was violated?
waters?
Can you name the law that was violated? Please tell me.
International,
you're telling me. Please name the. Please tell me.
What does that mean to name the law?
I know you can't.
I'm a lawyer too. What does that mean to name the law? You have to.
What law was broken?
This is like high school debate rules here.
What laws were broken?
Okay,
You don't have the right to kill civilians.
It feels like this is just the first of actions Trump will take against Venezuela. And I think what's really, really scary here is that Republicans seem like they are acting as if they don't have another election, because these are war is unpopular. Immigration, popularity for immigration has been an all-time high.
Drugs being brought into this country, they're killing 100,000 U.S.
citizens.
In addition,
for those that don't know, the Supreme Court ruled Monday for the Trump administration and agreed U.S. immigration agents may stop and detain anyone they suspect in the U.S. illegally based on little more than working at a gas station, at a restaurant, at a car wash, speaking Spanish, or having brown skin. That is all they need. If you speak Spanish or have brown skin, you are in danger. My family's in danger. And we have to step up. We have to be the change. We have to spread the word. Make sure to keep your family as safe as you can. Let them be informed. And that's the best that we can do. But, yep. The Supreme Court ruled this on Monday for the Trump administration.
hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/tytsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.